Hello, I'm going to talk about climate change's effect on plankton and in particular plankton in the food chain. Plankton are microscopic organisms that travel through the ocean via currents and are also present in freshwater bodies. The ocean is the world's largest ecosystem, yet we still know very little about it, and even less so about the plankton that inhabit it. The two main categories of plankton are phytoplankton and zooplankton. Phytoplankton are microscopic single-celled organisms and form the first stage of the ocean food chain. Phytoplankton are then consumed by zooplankton, tiny animals, which in turn are consumed by larger aquatic organisms such as fish, moving up through the trophic levels and up through the food chain to the large predators such as sharks. Plankton are formed mainly at surface waters, requiring sunlight and nutrients such as phosphorus and nitrogen. These nutrients at the surface sink to deeper waters via a process called biological pumping, although due to many factors such as wind, temperature, ocean circulation and mixing, many of these nutrients are cycled back up to the surface to support plankton growth. Plankton are also absolutely vital for the functioning of ocean ecosystems and atmospheric regulation, controlling carbon dioxide and oxygen levels. For example, marine phytoplankton fixes around half of the Earth's carbon dioxide emissions and produces upwards of half of the ocean's oxygen. Some estimates predict this to be greatly higher. Climate change is causing major disruptions to the ocean cycling processes, altering the supply and hence starving surface waters of the key nutrients supporting plankton growth. De Vries et al. 2016 conducted research on plankton in the North Sea known to have undergone spatial shifts as a result of ecosystem regime shifts caused by climate change. This basically means plankton abundance cycles in the sea have been altered, and this has caused disruption to marine food webs. Certain fish species' life processes have fallen out of synchrony with plankton, whereby plankton overlap with fish species on a longer timescale than the fish's lifespan, meaning they are unavailable as their food source and they may be unable to persist in the area. A very recent study by Brill et al. 2019, published on just the 11th of February, provides support for De Vries et al.'s findings, describing zooplankton spatial relocations in the North Atlantic. It also highlights the effect this can have on the ocean's carbon cycling, finding that changes in the carbon fluxes actually coincided with these zooplankton spatial shifts. This demonstrates just how key the role that marine plankton plays in the Earth's carbon dioxide regulation is, and being so recent means it provides a very important and relevant update to just how relevant this is. Moore et al. Also found how warming would cause a global redistribution of nutrients, with a net transfer to the deep ocean, again showing a reduction in nutrients available to support plankton growth at the surface. However, this study uses a worst-case scenario model to predict climate, which assumes a business-as-usual attitude to burning fossil fuels up until the year 2300. This is unlikely to happen, as awareness and mitigation efforts against climate change increase. Therefore, in reality, some of the numbers found by Moore et al. Are likely to be slightly exaggerated, although the mechanisms and processes described in the study will occur just the same way. Gradually warming waters have already killed off phytoplankton by 40% since 1950, according to a study by Boyce et al. In 2010. This is because warming waters increase water stratification, which creates barriers between ocean layers, which limits the nutrient uprising up towards the surface to provide for plankton. Conclusive evidence shows climate change and the ever-increasing temperatures associated with it will have detrimental large-scale effects on plankton populations, which would prove devastating to the ecosystems and services that rely upon it. The subsequent effects on plankton declines on already severely stressed fish populations provides a huge threat to global food security for humans as well, with around 3 billion people significantly reliant on fish as a protein source. And worse yet, since plankton is such a key source of carbon dioxide reduction, the loss of plankton could even result in a positive feedback cycle, accelerating climate change further. For these reasons, despite some recent research such as Rusconi et al. That finds that certain environments may only transform plankton populations rather than show decline, global reductions are clear, inevitable, and cannot be ignored. Thank you.